YouTube, real quick, we are here with the second ever hands-on class here at Studio 45. Woo! We just got done. We're wrapping it up now, but we're going to cut one of our participants in this hands-on course, 4 days that we did. So we're gonna cut them up, make this a tutorial, and we kind of did a brief consultation already. And so what we said was, we're gonna keep this actually full, we're gonna texture it, and almost like a short mullet-ish, right? And then I'm gonna keep the line here a little bit natural because he has like some skin issues back here that he likes to keep covered up. So we're gonna do that. Keep it a little bit flatter here in the back. You comb it like this way, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna comb it this way. We're gonna keep everything squared, and I think I'm gonna do something unique, maybe like a tight taper in here or something like that into all the shear work that we're doing. And then with the beard, what are you doing with the beard?
I like it full.
Like it full? All right, so we'll clean it up, we'll make it full. I'll probably blend it in here, but keep all this full. All right, let's go. So guys, right off the bat, I want to let y'all know I've never done this cut before. This is the first time I do kind of the mullet-ish style with a whole bunch of texture and stuff. We're gonna start this haircut off with a profile parting right on top through the middle, just to determine our length, and that'll be our guideline for the rest of the cut. Now we're gonna take horizontal sections, little by little, working our way from the front to the back, making sure everything is squared. We're gonna build weight around the parietal ridge and just make sure everything is squared, and we're not really gonna take much off of the back. I do want to flatten this some, but the reason why is because his hair is so short in the neck area, so it's not gonna look as much a mullet as it could because it was lined up before. But I'm gonna do my best to make it look like so. Y'all let me know in the comments at the end of the video if you like the cut, right? So we're doing the same thing on this side, taking our time, making sure everything is nice and even. And shout out to Todd for being my model for this video. This is Todd's, I believe, second class with me. He's just hungry, man. He's like in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, population 2,500, and he's just trying to bring, you know, some blurry, nice haircuts to his small town. I think that's dope. All right, so we took a diagonal section here, right there in the front, and that's our traveling guideline for the rest of the sides here. If you notice, I'm gonna bring the hair out squared with my knuckles against the scalp, preparing it for a short haircut, especially around the side of the head. As we start getting close to the back, we're still pulling out square towards the side of the head. That's what's gonna keep the back here longer and looking more of a mullet. Now, this is where I said I was gonna flatten it up in the back a little bit. I'm just gonna go squared, just shortening it up just a tad bit, but I'm not going all the way down because, like I told you guys in the beginning of this haircut, the neck area, the length of the hair is too short already. So I'm really just flattening it up around the crown area. To me, it's gonna give the illusion that the neck area is longer than it really is. Shout out to my cousin for the beats. Link is in the bio. You guys already know. Tito, thank you, bro. Alright, we're doing the same thing here on this side. Diagonal sections. Keeping everything squared. That way we can retain the shape and the length that's in the back. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So while it's a little bit damp, I'm gonna go ahead and slice cut into it just because it's gonna give a little bit more slip. A little easier to do this technique with wet hair. But I'll do it again when it's dry because I really want to visually see the texture coming to life a little bit later. But this just gives a rough draft of the texture. I'm going like crisscross angles. Okay, we'll dry the hair a bit and get it ready for clipper work. Oh, wait, no, we're drying the hair, and now I'm gonna put some real deep texture in there. So I'm taking like half of the hair. I'm cutting in like half of the hair's length, and we're going at like a steep angle to really cut some visual bits and pieces into his hair. Now we can start going our clipper work. Remember, we're gonna do kind of really tight here on the sides into the mullet. Almost a burst fade, but to me it's not quite, because we are getting rid of the C cup. It's gonna be almost like, I would say, in between a fade and a high taper. So we balded him out. Now we have the blade open, and we're starting to take out this bottom line. Now this is an older video that's in the chamber. It's been on the academy for about a week or so. So if you just watched my vlog where I showed you guys the experience of me building my new clippers, that's why I'm not using the new clippers yet, because I had this in the chamber for a while now. So we did one open, one close, and now we're using the half guard to remove this next line. Okay, you can see I dropped down to the blade open because that's what we use to create the line, and just kind of makes the blend a little bit more fluid. Next step is my number 2 open, and like always guys, you can follow along in the color guide if you start to get lost, because I start ranting. Now you guys can see I'm starting to go a little bit behind the ear. That's okay, because as long as we don't go past the mastoid, which is where the side rounds into the back, it should just blend right into the shape we created with our shear work. Okay, right underneath our number 2 close, we're following it up with the 1.5 guard, or 4.5 millimeters for my people who use detachable blades or other types of guards. You can always tell, when guards are similar sizes, no matter what the brand is, by checking millimeters, the measurements. Okay, underneath that, we're using the 1 open because that's what we use to create the line. And like I said, it just kind of makes everything blend a little bit more fluid. You can see the blend is coming together. I'm going to use blending shears, maybe a number 3, just to kind of debulk a little bit above the 2 where we left off with the 2 open. Yeah, so here it is. Here's my number 3, and I'm just going above where I went with the number 2 open, and it should just blend right into that shape we created with the shear work. Here I'm using my number 4, and this is usually the biggest guard I use. I usually don't go past the number 4. I think it's looking pretty good. So followed up with our blending shear just to soften it up just a bit more. I like blending shears because they don't leave lines, hence blending, the name blending. All right, and while we're here, let's go ahead and blend the beard. Remember, in the consultation, we told them we weren't gonna go, we weren't gonna blend the beard in too much because he did like that fuller look. But even from this angle, that fade slash taper slash burst is looking good going into the mullet shape, I feel like. Look at Luke in the background throwing out the trash. Nobody even asked him. I appreciate that. Alright, so we're cleaning up the beard real quick. Again, like I always tell you guys, this is kind of a rough draft. It's not going to be the sharpest beard line, but we leave that up to our razor. So this technique right here, I'm just point cutting into the hairline. I'm trying to make it look softer, break it apart a little bit, make it look more textured, make it look like he, almost like he didn't get a haircut, but it looks groomed. It looks like it's done on purpose almost. I don't know. Yeah, that's. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but I like to mix a little bit of hard lines and soft lines, especially with this mullet, with the blurry, fade on the sides. We're mixing up some hard, like really textured look with some hard lines, and then some wispy lines around the hairline. Like, I feel like it's a good mixture of modern barbering and classic hairstyling, shear work, right? Like, I just feel like it's a good fuse, and that's where men's hair is going. All right, so we're gonna do the same process here on this side. I think it's important to be able to mix all those different techniques, right? Like, if you have a good sense of softer looks and harder looks, like modern barbering, and you can fuse some of the Cosmo and hairstylist world in with that. There's so many things you can create, so many different looks you can create. And today, especially with like millennials and stuff, nobody really wants to look the same. Everybody wants to look unique and be different, and I think that's dope. I think that's why barbering is becoming such a big deal. Like, it's like, you got barbers with 1 million followers, like it's a, I'm not gonna say it's a trending profession, but it's definitely on its way up in popularity. I've never seen so many kids that want to become a barber. I get DMs all the time like, yo, my dream is to be a barber. I think that's dope, and I think it's because people love art. People love to be creative and be able to express themselves, and this is a profession you can do that with. And I'm sorry, I'm always ranting, guys, but again, you can follow along with the color guide on the bottom left corner. All right, so we have our number one open. We filed right beneath the 1.5 guard, and it's the same steps. We'll probably close it up a bit if it's a little bit dark, and you can pretty much see the blend coming together, especially once we slap this half guard on here and really bring it together. Okay, just like the other side, we're giving a nice sharp line around the ear, but we're letting it get softer and wispier, more of a textured look as you go further down towards the neck area. And I'm point cutting in there, creating some pieces and breaking the hair apart a bit. Now, this is a trick here that I want to show you guys. You can cut it short. It doesn't have to be a hard line when you're lining up, but if you cut underneath those wispy pieces, you can make it look more broken apart because there's not so much density underneath that hair, if you will. All right, and then the same last step we did on the other side with the blending shears. And we're gonna add a little bit more texture. You could see the pieces already in there from when I textured earlier, but I just wanted to make it even more piecier. Alright, so now we're gonna put some clay in his hair, and that's gonna enhance all the texture that we cut in. It's just gonna make it pop even more. Look at the little pieces that we cut around the neckline. Look at the texture into the fade. I'm really feeling this cut. And then when we put this line on there, watch this. Oh yeah, I love it. I love the cut. I think it's a great balance of barbering and shear work, man. You guys see the neckline over there, the little pieces, the little texture that's there. You know, I think that really sets off the cut. I just wish it was a little bit longer around the neckline. And then for the beard, we're gonna, you know, keep it low because he wants it to look nice and full. My boy's about to pull up to Mississippi, standing out. All right, and like I told you guys, we're gonna really define this line here with the razor using Tomb 45 triple cartridge. You can get at tomb45.com. This back line right here really sets off the beard. See that? So I mean, you guys see the cut coming together, man. I mean, I'm gonna do some last bits and pieces of detailing here. On this side, I felt like it was a little bit lower, the fade. So I am bringing it up just a tad bit more to try to match both sides, even though it's hard to do that. I'm gonna attempt it, but you know, look at the texture here in the back. Let me know what you think about this right here. Of course, I wish it was a little bit longer around the neckline so it had a more of a molded look, but you could really see that texture popping, man.
Oh, wow.
It's gonna be the reaction video. The reaction video, yeah. I had a good time, man. That was a good 4-day course, man. Built some relationships, and I can't wait to see their growth throughout the next few years, man. But check out the reaction of his cut. All right, bro. You haven't seen the cut, but just say, yeah, you like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Tito Beats Production.
Link is in the bio.
So guys, this is the before. Now look at the after. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, smash the like button, and let me know what you thought about the cut in the comments below. See you on the next video. Love y'all.